reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
MMO Reporter's PAX Prime coverage is brought to you by Dragon Fantasy, The Black Tome of Ice, a 16-bit styled JRPG coming soon on Steam, iOS, Android, 3DS, and Wii U. Hi everybody, Chris here from MMO Reporter, and I am talking to Peter Ju. He is the executive producer on the newly announced game from Trion Worlds, Atlas Reactor. Just got to see a demo of it. I'm really excited, but I'm going to let you describe the game.
Atlas Reactor is Trion's latest project, and it is a turn-based team tactics game. Sorry, it took me a second. I'm really tired now. But yeah, it's a turn-based team tactics game, and I think what's really special about our game is that we have simultaneous turns, which basically means that you and your team and the opponents are all deciding on which moves to make at the exact same time. So you really get this kind of reading, second-guessing, rock, paper, scissors type of feel with our gameplay, for sure.
But you also have not just simultaneous turns, but you built it in such a way where there are, within the turn, different layers of the turn,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so the kind of rock, paper, scissors of our game is there are three phases: the prep phase, the dash phase, and the combat phase. So in the combat phase is where generally all the damage happens, all the direct damage happens, and the knockbacks happen. The dash phase is where you can kind of dodge those attacks and move to a different location before those attacks happen. And then the first phase, which is the prep phase, is where you can do your buffs and debuffs, and you can also lay your traps for the dash phase. So you can kind of think of it as prep counters dash, counters combat.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that we saw as well was the characters, very individualized, very unique
Yes.
characters that you've got in there. But you're not just building a multiplayer game. There's a story to this game as well, right?
Yep, there's absolutely a very deep story, and you're going to be discovering it as you play the game Atlas Reactor for sure. At the top level, basically, you play as freelancers, and these freelancers are in the employee of trusts, which employ them to do kind of various activities for them that aren't necessarily legal, but they are freelancers, so they have their own kind of motivations as well. So there's a lot of intrigue involved, and eventually you'll kind of learn how the reactor came to be and why everyone's so interested in this reactor, and kind of why the world is the way it is right now.
Now, there was a lot of similarities that I saw to a whole bunch of different types of games.
Yeah.
However, the one thing I really saw in there was a strong influence of MOBAs that are in there. There's definitely, like, when you've got your character select, and seems to be very individual characters. One of the challenges I think you're going to face as you move forward is going to be how to describe this game, because it is something that is quite unique. That's got to be a pretty big challenge.
Yeah.
How are you going to approach that?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is to get people in front of it, and we're starting alpha right now, and people are going to be able to play very soon. We do have a lot of influences from a lot of competitive games. We have a lot of first-person shooter enthusiasts, fighter enthusiasts, and MOBA enthusiasts for sure. We love the character-based nature of MOBAs, but this is, I think you saw it, it's certainly not a MOBA game.
No.
It is you could think of it as a PvP tactics game, right? Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM, imagine that in a PvP setting. There are the characters in MOBAs, but we don't have any of kind of the real trappings of MOBAs. Like, we don't have towers, we don't have minions, we don't have last hitting, we don't have in-game progression. So really, it's about the characters.
It is, and it was very unique characters. Another interesting part of the demo was you were describing a couple of the different characters and the fact that they're really good friends. But you know what? This person got paid this much from one company. Yeah. This person got paid this much from another company.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's going to be a lot of interpersonal relationship with the characters. We want this to be a very deep world, like I said.
And you've got different types of game modes. I know you're still obviously very early in development, still tweaking all those sorts of things. But I think you were also discussing how you wanted a fair bit of flexibility in there for players.
Right. So what we care most about is figuring out what is the best way to play this type of game. It's a new way to play games, and Like, we don't know what the best kind of configuration is. Like, right now we're playing 3v3 teams, but there are modes that we play all the time where it's like one person controlling 3 characters, because we can do so in a turn-based game. And we have varying time limits right now. So like, a lot of people like to play speed chess style, where it's 5 seconds at a time, people are making decisions, and you're trying to lock in any decision you can, not the optimal one, versus kind of the longer form games, 40 seconds at a time for making a decision, etc.
So what he's talking about there is when you go in, everybody has the chance, everybody who's controlling characters will have a chance to decide what action they're going to take, the rock, paper, scissors that he was talking about. But as one of the game modes, you can set a timer for the amount of time that you have. And I know it was really interesting hearing the team discuss the idea of having those speed rounds like you were talking about, where one person would control multiple characters on the screen and have 5 seconds to make their decisions.
Yeah. You're at that point, you're trying to make a pretty good decision, not the best decision, and you're just trying to lock in.
A decision so you don't do nothing.
Exactly. And that's kind of the... So in the spectrum of games, right, you have kind of very reflex, twitch-based games, and you have kind of chess and strategy games where you can take forever to play. This place here, when you're making decisions 10 seconds, 15 seconds at a time, it's a very interesting feeling, because it's like you're thinking really fast, and you're getting the input that you want to make, right? Yeah. Like, there's nothing blocking your brain from what you want to do, but the question is was it the right thing to do? And it's a very addictive feeling, for sure.
And I know that it's very, very early in development, and I know before I even ask what the answer to this question is going to be, what sort of time frame are we looking at before people can actually start playing?
All right. Well, alpha is going to be happening soon, and there'll be instructions to sign up for alpha somewhere, I'm assuming, when this goes out. That's probably not the best answer, but then certainly we're going to be launching sometime in 2016, and that really depends on alpha. Like we said, there's a lot of ways this game can be played, and we're exploring a lot of the PvP ways this game can be played, as well as the PvE co-op ways that can be played, for sure.
All right, thanks so much for your time, Peter, and really looking forward to getting my hands at some point on Atlas Reactor.
Thanks for taking your time. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to talk to people. I can talk for days about this stuff, and I talk really fast, so this is all rough.
It was great. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.